Hi, ladies. This is Shirley from Club Afia. As you know, Club Afia is the club for women where there are no borders. And there are no borders because we reach out to women everywhere in the world, women in every country, every city, every town, every village. And our big, big, big goal is also every home where there is a woman. And today is day six, 5116. Day six of my 30-day sea challenge for Club Afia. Time is flying fast. It's been 6 days already. Can you imagine that? It's been 6 days. It's almost a week. So I'm having a lot of fun. And I am going to be taking off my glasses in a little while and go do some yoga. That's my yoga mat on the chair behind me. And yesterday we talked about how to serve the world by keeping ourselves healthy and well, making sure that we look after ourselves, keep ourselves safe and healthy and well. And that's the first thing we do. The first thing we do in order to be in service, in order to be in contribution, in order to serve the world, the first thing we do is look after ourselves. A friend of mine told me years and years and years ago, Shirley, you can't give what you don't have. And women often need to be reminded of this. And especially in these times that we are living in, especially in these times where so many people are in need of so many different kinds of support, and so intensely, so many people are getting sick. We're losing so many of friends and family and co-workers and so on, and it is always women. It is very often women who pick up the slack, who do the supporting and helping and so on, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. That's not a bad thing. We don't want to be the only ones who do that, but it's a human thing to look after others. The thing, though, is that women, whether we've been trained into it or we were born with those particular genes, we're not going to discuss that today. That's for another time, and we are going to discuss that. We talk about those things at Afia because they're important, they matter. But for our purposes today, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that this is a world in pain, in anguish, in agony, in almost every part of the world. Yeah, even in places like this small island where I am right now, where the COVID crisis has really not been terribly bad. Even so, we are concerned and we are worried because it is there and it was here and it can come again. And besides, we have family and friends who live in the United Kingdom and in South Africa and in the United States and in Kenya and in Brazil, and in France and Italy and China. We have people who, we have friends and family and co-workers who live all around the world, who work all around the world. And in any case, it just is the normal human thing to sympathize with and worry about pain and grief and sorrow and struggle and challenge for other people, even if it's not directly if it's not intimately a part of our life. So that's what I wanted to just say today. Today's going to be pretty short because really all I wanted to do was remind us, women, ladies, girls, sisters, femme, donne, I don't know any other languages at the moment. Just remind the female people amongst us that we need to look after ourselves. We can't look after the families that we want to look after. We can't take care of work. We can't survive this unless we take care of ourselves. So we do that first. And yesterday I talked about doing that. One way to do that is to keep your body physically healthy. So eat well, eat as well as you possibly can. Get some exercise, strengthen your body, get physical exercise and keep your body physically strong. And take time out for yourself. Take time for yourself. Run a bath and sit in it for half an hour every day, or go for a walk by yourself. Get up early in the morning or go to bed a little bit later at night. Take some time in the afternoon to read a book, whatever it is you have to do to take some time for yourself. Do that. It's important. It's important to your health and the health of the people you care about. Now, the other thing, which is what we're talking about this afternoon, is making yourself a priority. We sort of ended on that note yesterday when I said take some time, talk to your family about people having um, individual time, people having time for themselves, and ensure that your whole family, everybody in your household, is encouraged to do that, especially if you're still in those parts of the world which where you're living in, you're still under lockdown or severe restrictions on how you move around. It's important for everybody's well-being that at home you take time away from each other. It really is. And women, like I said, women have a hard time with this because we've been trained to look after people, to take care of everybody else. And again, I repeat, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all necessarily. It's just that you need to look after yourself first. Looking after yourself first means that you are prepared, you are ready. And this is one of the things that's important to look at, being prepared to deal with things that come into your life. When you're doing all these things, don't forget yourself, and don't forget that ultimately we are better able to help to do the things that we are either inclined or expected to do if we have thought of them ahead of time. So for those of us for whom this crisis is not yet on our doorstep, prepare for it. Those of us through whom it has already passed, prepare any case just in case it comes back. The medical people, the scientists, the governments are saying that there is every likelihood that it will come back. In fact, Barbados and Antigua in the Caribbean, which had pretty much managed it, controlled it, got rid of it, have had new cases recently because people have been coming into the country. The airports are reopened, and not even completely reopened. They just partially reopened, and yet, the last I heard, Barbados had 26 or 29 new cases all in a matter of just a few days because people are coming in. So, preparing, making preparations for these difficult times is an important thing to do. It is important. And since we are in this time now where we realize, if nothing else, we have had a reminder that life is unpredictable, that anything can happen at any time. All our lives have been turned upside down in one way or the other because of most of the things outside of our control. We didn't start, we didn't blow the virus into the air. We didn't kill George Floyd. We didn't, we were not responsible for Sahara dust. There's so much around us that we don't have any power to manage and control or stop. So all we can do is always be prepared. And always be prepared means, for me, always being aware of what's going on and what could happen, and being able to think through, taking the time, or not having the time, taking the time to think through what could happen, what might happen, the possibilities, the positive and the not so positive ones. We have to prepare for all of them. And so over the course of the next 24 days, we're going to be talking about some of what to do to prepare, to stay a little bit ahead of the curve, or stay ahead of the curve as much as it's possible. For right now, let me leave this with you. I'll remind you what I said yesterday. Look after yourself. That's one way of preparing. It's not just about being in service to the world, it's preparing for what might come. And the other thing is to stay informed. To stay informed. And no, Facebook is not enough. Listen to the news, read the newspapers, understand what's going on, listen to what the authorities are saying about the disease itself, and about the economy, and about the ecology, and about transportation and work and so on. And listen to what they're saying about whether, when, if, how there might be a way to deal with this awful disease, a cure or a vaccine. Stay aware. Stay aware. And to stay aware, you need to know. And that means listening, not believing everything you hear. Please don't do that. Don't just believe everything you hear. But if you're listening to all of the information and putting the pieces together, understanding what makes sense, what doesn't, seeing where there are discrepancies in the information, and like you say, Monsa, make sense out of nonsense, and come to a reasoned position on what you need to do to stay ahead of this, to get through this a little bit ahead, because ultimately what we want to do is get out of this, get through this healthy and whole and standing on our feet. Think about what it'll take, what you need to have to do, how you need to be in order to come through this as close to intact and whole as possible, and if possible, stronger than when you came in. My homework assignment is for you to A, get informed, and B, think through what's coming at you. And again, we don't know, we have no idea. So you really have to be informed. The most basic and the most important, the most vital thing you need to do is be informed. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go do my yoga practice, and we'll talk tomorrow. Yes? Tomorrow is day 7. A whole week will have gone by tomorrow. Time is flying. Time is flying, and we have a lot of work to do in the 30 days. We're just picking up now, and we're just going to keep going, because we all want to come out of this stronger than when we went in, secure, solid, and ready for whatever. Okay? Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, beautiful week, and I'll see you tomorrow.